3, 2, 1. When you're ready.
So this is the entrance, and as you can see, it's quite wide. Nice wide entrances, high ceilings, very well maintained, neat and tidy spaces. So the entry leads into the living room. So are we going to go have a look at the kitchen next? Kitchen area, and as you can see, the kitchen is quite spacious. Everything is very well organized. There's plenty room. We've got 2 spaces for the microwave. We've got heaps of storage room as well. We've got an inbuilt dishwasher system. We've got a hot and cold water system running through that as well, so very convenient. The other additional feature to the kitchen is that there's an entertainment area inbuilt, which I believe can act as an attraction point for most buyers. The living room that we can see, I can see it's very well maintained. Great colors. The ceiling height is quite good. The only thing I would say though, perhaps, is that the painting, I can see certain chips. The neighborhood is quite peaceful and quiet, consists mostly of residential area, and I saw a childcare center very close by to this place, and I also saw on my drive up to the property there are 2 houses. There's a high school as well as a primary school, so that's quite convenient. Would you say that most of the residential properties are occupied by young families or older retired couples perhaps?
It's very family orientated around here. With the schools close by, there's a lot of kids going, a lot of kids in our neighborhood, so I think, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's perfect. All right. And then I also noticed that the theme parks are very close by. Yeah, that's quite exciting for families,
Yeah.
especially with young children.
Yeah.
And I saw that there's 2 shopping centers around.
Yeah.
The Plaza and the Westview Shopping Center. That's great. Okay, very well maintained. Just to understand your needs and how I can best help you, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. To begin with, I'd like to ask, why are you wanting to sell your property?
Well, my husband and I, we have been here for about 14 years. We have 3 children, and the way we were raised up, it's very cultural, very tight-knit, and we kind of wanted to move back home to New Zealand and live off there, basically.
So you're moving back to New Zealand?
Yeah, soon, hopefully.
Oh, that
Everything's
sounds
great.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So do you have a specific price in mind for your property?
Well, yeah. We've had some work done on it. It was initially 3 bedrooms. And then we had some family staying with us, so we've extended it a bit. They've since moved out. So we've done some work on the house, and maybe looking about 745,000, which yeah, we
Okay. Is that your definite price, or do you have a range? Are you flexible with the price?
I wouldn't take anything less than 730,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understand. Thank you. And how soon are you looking to sell the property? Are you rushed?
Not at this stage. I mean, we have some time. We still got to do the kids' passports. We have some time to stall, but yeah, not in a rush at this stage.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. And how long have you owned the property?
6 years.
Okay.
6 years.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And have you currently appointed any other agent?
Not at this stage. We are looking.
Okay.
Not at this stage.
But at this point, is this your first meeting with
Yes,
an agent?
yes, my first meeting. So I'm just gonna have a look.
So I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions about the material facts of the property now. You did mention that the property has been renovated. You've added an extra room, a bit of extension. Anything else that you'd like to share?
Yeah, we've done a little bit of work on the kitchen as well. We've extended it so it's an open plan living. It was more so closed off. So we've opened up the dining room, kitchen, as well as the living room. So it's an open plan at the moment. So it's very nice for.
I can see.
Yeah.
Do you wish to sell the property furnished or unfurnished?
Well, because we are moving back, I don't mind if the new homeowners take the old furniture, of course, at
At an additional price, perhaps?
Yeah, yep. Or we can clear it out. I don't mind, whatever.
Okay, sure. I have noticed going around the house, I've just at the top of my head that I could notice are 3 improvements that I would like to recommend just to improve your chances of a better sale.
Okay.
The first one would be paint. I can tell that perhaps it hasn't been painted in a fairly long time.
It's been some time with kids and stuff.
And then I also noticed that your garage door wasn't working, so it'd be a good idea to fix that. And then as well as your air conditioning. While during the tour you did mention that the air conditioning wasn't working, and that could be quite important to a lot of buyers. So to give you a rough estimate of the prices, the paint might cost about $7,000 approximately. To get the garage fixed, it would be an average of $1,500, and to fix the air conditioning, it could be $1,000 average. Now, if you don't have anyone in mind, we do have contacts, and we've got people that we know through the agency who do that. If you would like for me to organize that, let me know, and I'll get on top of it.
That's awesome. That'd be great.
And I'm also just going to discuss the marketing side of your property in order to sell it. The benefits of a properly presented property and the presentation and improvements that can affect the quality of the sale. So all of these renovations that you do, also aesthetically presenting your property, can attract and retain quality buyers. It increases your sale price as well, allows you to even push for the sale price that you want after. And what I will do now is conduct a quick property appraisal and provide you an estimate selling price range based on what I've seen in the neighborhood and what properties are selling on an average in an area such as this one. The estimated price for this property is around $730,000 to $750,000. And if you were to go on, like, do an internet search on realestate.com or domain.com around your area with the similar style, infrastructure, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, garage spaces, you will notice that the property prices are ranging from $730,000 to $750,000. So it's great that you want to sell it for $745,000. It's around that mark.
Yes, in between, so that works out.
So you've been quite reasonable. Most properties in the area with the same number of rooms, bathrooms, as I mentioned, fall under the same price range. There are different methods of sale, which I will go through with you, and then we can work out what's the best method of sale for your property. So there are 3 main methods of sale to begin with. There's private treaty, tender, or auction. So private treaty is where the property is listed at a certain price, at a specific price, and marketed for sale. A key feature of this kind of sale is the ability for parties to negotiate the price and the terms of the sale in private without a deadline. So we're not really pushed for time, so we can really take our time working out the negotiating details. Now, a tender is where a property or the seller's agent, such as myself, will invite potential buyers to submit their written offers. So you don't have a specific sale price. It's sort of just show me what you've got, like tell me what you would like to pay. So they submit their written offers for the property, specifying their price and conditions before a specified closing date and time. So there is a deadline. The seller's condition of tender would also state that tenders are irrevocable, which means that once a tender is accepted by a seller, an enforceable contract of sale is formed. So if you accept one of the prices, you cannot go back on that word. It's a definite sale then. The seller then selects the most suitable offer, and the agent advises the successful tenderer that their offer has been accepted. It is most appropriate for properties that are difficult to sell. Now the last one is an auction, which you would have heard a lot about. Auction is where a property is listed and advertised as an auction sale without a price or a price range and offered for sale in a public forum, which can be on site or in a public venue on a specified date. So the agent will market the property on an auction day. The auctioneer will negotiate on the floor until the bidding by potential buyers reaches or exceeds the seller's reserve price. For example, if your reserve price is $745,000, we won't give that price out on the day of the auction. So we just open the floor for people to bid, and as soon as someone bids around, let's suppose they bid $745,000 or above, that's when the auctioneer will say the property is now on the market. So meaning any bidders above the 745,000 will be considered, those offers will be taken because now the property is for sale. So, but if we don't reach that price, if we don't reach a reserve price of 745,000, then further negotiations and other marketing methods, perhaps an open home, perhaps a second auction might take place, because you obviously don't want to go below your reserve price as much as possible.
That's right.
I would recommend as your agent for the chosen method for this property to be a private treaty, as it allows the time to negotiate the price and terms of sale without a set deadline, since you do have that advantage of not having a closed time. And not just that, also with auctions and the tender, there is a possibility that you could perhaps go below your asking price. But with a private treaty, it's quite straightforward. You list your asking price, which is $745,000, and then buyers who are aware of what you're asking and are perhaps even willing to pay that are the ones that come through. Now we'll just go into discussing marketing activities that I would personally propose to sell this property. Advertising, including print and electronic media, social media, direct marketing via the agency database. So that means, sending out emails, text messages, informing all people on our database that there's a property on sale. Inspections and open homes, mail outs, signboards, internet and online advertising, including property portals, agency web pages, virtual tours, and online directories. So I'll just go into explaining the importance of open homes and inspections for attracting buyers. And I'll also outline the risks associated with these activities and how we can mitigate them. So open homes allow potential buyers the opportunity to get a feel for the property and be able to picture themselves living there by walking from room to room, creating an emotional connection that will drive them to ultimately make an offer or bid on the property if you decide to go with an auction. But an obvious risk of conducting open homes is, of course, theft, as many unqualified people can enter and attend an open home. And then furthermore, there is also a threat to privacy. So your privacy is another factor. So how we can mitigate that is pictures and videos and things that you don't want other people to see can be locked away, put away before the open home. And also valuables that you're most concerned about losing can also be taken out of the property or perhaps secured in a very safe place, so that we'll manage these risks as effectively as possible.
That's good.
We'll move in to discuss. At this point, do you have any questions?
No, not at this stage, no. I think you're pretty clear,
So the next thing that I will talk about is the agency services, fees and charges, and the conflicts of interest, disclosure requirements on agents when selling properties, and how your privacy will be confidential. So the agency commission is 3.3% of the total sale price, and as a real estate agent, you may receive rebates or commissions from other service providers that we recommend to you, such as I just recommended. I said that we have a few people that could arrange for your renovations or maintenance. So from those people, we would, if we were to recommend them and you were to go through with those companies, we would receive a referral fee from these external companies as well. So just putting it out there. And that would include from building and pest inspectors, photographers, home stylists, trade persons, and all of this must and will be disclosed in your Form 6, which is your legal document. If you do decide to sign up with our agency, before we start marketing your property, we'll fill out that Form 6 and all the disclosures will be listed on it. And also we'll go over how we can keep your privacy confidential. So we've obviously got a very secure database that only very limited people have access to, and we go through with it in alignment with the Privacy Act of Queensland and Australia. At this point, do you have any specific instructions for us to secure your privacy or anything else?
No, I think we know which stuff we would need to take out if we were to have that open home. No questions at this stage. Pretty good.
Perfect. Cool. The last thing that I am going to mention is our method of communication. If you were to go ahead with our agency, the most preferred communication method will be via email, just so that we have a written trail of everything. And of course, there'll be text messages and phone calls if there's anything urgent, but all of those phone calls will be followed up with an email summarizing the points of discussion over the phone call.
That works for me. That's perfect.
And there will be a communication plan that will be sent out to you as well. Once I finish up with this meeting, I'll go back to my agency. Okay, so I'd just like to ask you if you are happy with the presentation. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the presentation. However, I just want to go over a few things about, was it Form 6?
Yes. So Form 6 is the form that we would have to complete, both of us included. You would have to sign that before I get official authorization to commence the process to start to market your house and sell it.
Okay, perfect.
How can I help you with that?
I just have a bit of questions I want to ask about the Form 6. Like, whereabouts does the property details go?
So it goes on part 3, which is this part here. Part 3 I'll show you as well. So part 3 of the form states details of property or business that is to be sold, let, purchased or managed. Provides details of the property, and it also it details multiple properties if there are multiple properties, but of course we don't. It's just one property there.
Perfect. Another one I wanted to mention was part 4 section 2.
It's just right below
does that mean?
So part 4 section 2 talks about your term of appointment, which legally by law states that I must not do, as an agent, I must not do anything for a client before I have officially been appointed, and that is through signing your official documents and giving me the official authorization to go ahead. So it basically means until you appoint me in writing, I cannot do anything for you. It is a service agreement between myself and you, or my agency and you, and it sets out all of the rights and obligations of both parties involved.
Perfect. Thank you for clearing that up. And was it just the last part, I think was part 6. I just wanted to clarify what was the difference between an open listing and an exclusive agency.
So part 6 on the form talks about different types of sales. To keep it very brief, the gist of an exclusive listing is when you sign an agreement with an agent to sell your property with them alone, so you don't go through any other agents. But an open listing means that you are free of any obligation except to your agent who successfully negotiates a sale of your property. So you're not really bound to an exclusive agency as such. The only thing that you are obligated to do is, of course, pay up the commission to that agent, whoever it is, who gets you a sale that you're happy with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, cool. No, thank you.
And then I just want to also add to that part 7 of the Form 6 lists talks about commission. So we've already spoken about how much commission the agency charges. It's about 3.3% of your total sale. And then right below part 7 comes part 8, which is authorization to incur fees, charges, and expenses. What that talks about is, I'll just go over that for you. So the Form 6 must also contain any expense items and agreed dollar limits that the seller authorizes the agent to incur as part of the listing authority. So you would authorize for me to spend that much amount on the listing. So examples of expense items could be, but not limited to, the marketing and advertising expenses, maintenance and repair expenses, photography, and if we need to get home styling done, all of those expenses. So that I don't go over budget, we would put that down in terms as to how much is the limit for me to spend. So marketing expenses will be determined by the marketing strategy that will be signed off by you if you are happy with it, and then we also ensure that we have your written authorization for the marketing strategy and associated costs and expenses. Any expenses that are not discussed in the Form 6 will be authorized in writing by you before I am allowed to actually incur the expense. So an agent may not be able to be reimbursed by the seller for any unauthorized expenses or expenses exceeding the authorized amounts. So that's quite self-explanatory. So if I were to go ahead and spend on your home styling without receiving written approval from you, then I won't be reimbursed for it. It would be out of my pocket.
Okay, perfect.
That's pretty much it. Now, to conclude the listing presentation, I'm just going to let you know that once I get back to my agency, I'll be sending out a few documents to you. The first one will be a copy of the signed Form 6 that we have just signed today. So I'll just scan that and send that through to you. And then the seller's communication plan, so you know when to expect to hear from us, which I just discussed. And then a completed record of the inspection today.
Perfect. Cool.
Any questions at this point?
No, you've been more than helpful. Thank you.
Well, great.
Thanks for that.
Thank you for your meeting.
No worries.
I hope you